Our lesson in economics today is going to be on natural resources. We've actually learned about natural resources once before in science. We talked about the difference between natural resources and man-made resources. So hopefully you're already pretty familiar with natural resources, and this will just sort of be a review. But our goal today is we can explain what natural resources are, and then also that we can name goods that are made using natural resources. Homes, food, clothing, and water, what do they all have in common? Well, homes, food, clothing, and water are all goods that we need to survive. We can pay for these needs with income we earn from working. And we've been talking about that since the first economics lesson. Some goods are made from natural resources that we need to survive. Some natural resources we use to make our lives better. So we need some to keep us alive and some just to make us happy. We need natural resources. But what exactly is a natural resource? A natural resource are things that people find in nature. The most important natural resources are plants, soil, water, and air. Another way to look at natural resources is think about things that people don't make. So the four things I mentioned were plants, soil, water, and air. Okay, you might plant a seed, but you're not really making a plant. There's not a plant making factory. Or soil, water, air. Okay, these are all things that were on the earth before humans were around. Humans did not build these things. Humans build cars, they build houses, they built lots of things, but plants, soil, water, air, they come from the earth, so it makes them natural. Water is obviously a natural resource. It keeps all life alive, whether that's people, plants, or animals. Covers 75% of the Earth's surface. So that means most of the Earth's surface is actually water. That's just how big our oceans are. We need water not only for drinking, but we also need it to take a bath, to clean things, to cook. So water obviously is a basic need. It's extremely important, and it's a natural resource. Plants include things like trees, vegetables, fruits, and flowers. We've talked in science how vegetables and fruits grow on plants, as do flowers. Plants are a natural resource that we need to live. A plant might give you food, or it also creates oxygen. We've actually talked about this in science as well. When you breathe in, you're breathing in oxygen. Where do we get that oxygen from? Well, we actually get it from plants. When you breathe out, you're breathing out what's called carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is what the plants breathe in. So the plants need carbon dioxide to breathe. We need oxygen. So it's kind of like we trade them. We breathe out carbon dioxide so they can breathe it in, and they breathe out oxygen so we can breathe it in. So not only do we eat plants, but we also actually need it to breathe. But then we also use trees for other things like homes. We might use plants to help us make clothes or medicine. So lots of ways we use plants. Soil is a natural resource. It's a mixture of minerals and other materials. Without soil, animals would not survive. Obviously, no plants would grow without soil. Air is a natural resource that all living things need to live. We all know that. You can't hold your breath forever. Why? Because you need oxygen. We get oxygen in the air. When the plants breathe out their oxygen, it goes to the air, and then we breathe that in. There's many other natural resources as well. Animals are a natural resource, right? We don't create animals. We use them for food and clothing. Minerals like gold and silver are used to make jewelry because they're valuable. They can also be used as money. And back before people had money, sometimes they would use gold, and that's how they would pay for things a long time ago. Or maybe they'd pay for things with diamonds or other jewelries. Gold, diamond, and most jewelry, those are actually come from rocks. And rocks, as we know, are not made by humans. They're natural resources. Some natural resources make our lives better. Oil's a natural resource. We use oil when we fill up our cars with gas or planes with gas. These kinds of transportation make us go from place to place faster. The goods and services of our community are determined by what natural resources are available. If a natural resource was to disappear, it could directly affect what you buy. So what do they mean by that? Okay, let's pretend that you have a tomato garden and you eat those tomatoes, but then all of a sudden that tomato garden disappears for whatever reason. The plants stop growing. Well, now you don't have tomatoes to eat. Now, obviously, you could go to a store and buy tomatoes. But imagine if all the tomatoes in the world were gone, then no one would get to eat tomatoes. And actually, in America, we're able to get things that don't grow near us through planes and trucks. For example, pineapples do not grow in Indiana. We don't have the right weather here for pineapples to grow. So what we do is they grow in a warm place, like a tropical climate like Florida, and then they're shipped over here by plane or truck, and that's how they end up in your store. So that's kind of a luxury that we have in America, but it didn't used to always be that way. It used to be you could only eat the stuff that grew around you. Natural resources play an important role and shape our community, how we live. We rely on natural resources to help us meet our basic needs. And that's where we're going to stop.